I got a question. Do you find yourself stuck in between trying to invest, but you really don't have a lot of money to invest? Well, trust me, I've been there too. 2.5 years ago, I made a decision to start investing only $5 a day. And my goal was to see if investing a small amount of money would really grow to anything worthwhile. And today, I'm going to share what happened with that investment after 2.5 years. But what really inspired me to start with $5 a day is after looking back at my bank account and seeing how much I was spending at Starbucks, of all places. I figured if I stopped spending so much at Starbucks and instead what I'll do is invest that money, would it do anything worthwhile? Would it be better than coffee? But I'm not here to say that you need to stop drinking Starbucks in order to make this work. This really is about finding money that you can change from an expense to an investment, whatever that may be in your budget. Maybe that means one less meal out per week, or maybe it's one less beer at the bar. Something that you could do or reduce to kick off your investment journey. First, we're going to look at my portfolio update after 2.5 years, and second, we're going to show you how you can turn this $5 into $1.6 million. Let's start with my portfolio update. I wanted to invest in the stock market, and for that, I'm choosing an index fund which tracks the top 500 companies in America. My choice for this one was Vanguard's VOO. Now, I've invested consistently from January 2022 all the way through today, and I'm going to continue this on forever, basically. So, let's take a look. Now, this is as of June the 16th, okay? So if you think back to 2.5 years of just doing this right now, Vanguard S&P 500, this is a Sunday, so the stock market is closed, but the ending price on Friday was $499.16 per share. The beautiful thing about investment apps these days is that you can do this fractionally. So you can put $5 or even $1 in some case, and it'll buy a small piece. No longer do you have to save up, in this case, $499 to buy a full share. Gone are those days. But let's take a look at how this is looking. Right down here, you see my overall position in my account. I have a total of 11.49 shares that I built up over this period of time with an average cost of $396.67. Remember that average cost means the average of every single time that you invested, the highs and the lows. This is your average cost. And theoretically, what you could do, go to your investment account right now, look at what you own in your portfolio, look at the average cost. If the current price of whatever investment you're looking at is above your average cost, that means you're in the green. That means if you sold, you made money. And of course, as you can tell, in this case, $396 is an average cost. I just showed you it was $499, so looking pretty good. Let's reveal it. So the market value right now sits at $5,735.77. That is a total return of $1,177.68, and most importantly is the percentage, 25.84%. I don't even really think about what I spend $5 a day on in my everyday life. But if you could just turn that on for a second and build up $5,735 in just 2.5 years of really doing absolutely nothing but transferring money in and telling your investment app, go ahead and buy this thing every day that the stock market's open. Okay, thanks. Here we go. That's powerful. There is a trick with the S&P 500 that makes this particular investment much more powerful. Unlike a single company, this fund adjusts based on the top performers of the stock market. It's really about the time in the market, and the longer you continue to invest, the more power you have. And let me show you what I mean. I've been tracking this ever since the beginning, but if you look back at the beginning in January 2022, when I wasn't talking about this on YouTube yet, I am investing, but look at my growth. If I track my growth, I'm negative, positive a little bit, negative. Look at all that, all the way down. I actually ended the year, take a look at this in December of 2022. I have 4.97 shares. I put in $1,863. That's all my little hard-earned $5 a day going into this fund, but the fund is now only worth $1,749, which means I lost $113. So doesn't that sound kind of stupid? That's the power of staying in the market. So many people want to day trade this in and out, but you'll find, and I'll show you something really powerful in just a moment, but you'll find that if you just stay with it, you're going to beat any fund manager, any day trader over time. But look at this grid for the real power of the S&P 500. So this is actually analyzed from 1926 to 2015. That includes the pain of the Depression, wars and other setbacks. And the longer that you stay in the market, the more your chance of profit. Have a look at that. This is despite all those issues. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But now, let's talk about my second $5 investment. Now, this one is my wild, try and see what happens portfolio. I decided to do Ethereum for cryptocurrency. So this does mean that I'm now up to $10 a day, both between VOO and Ethereum, but let's just take a look. So here we are, currently going for $3,592. That is a lot of money for one Ethereum. And what's cool is my little $5 a day have given me up to 2.31 Ethereum. I'll take it. That means my average cost right now is at $1,888. Ethereum was down in 2022, and all those little $5 really took advantage of the down market. And for those of you who ask, what do I do if the market drops, if we have a recession? I'm going to continue to invest $5 a day, because just like I did in 2022 when the market was getting beat up, I mean, yes, you put $5 in and it went away. I kept going because of what you're about to see right now. My balance in Ethereum is $8,309. No extra investments. This is literally just the $5 for 2.5 years. That means my total return is sitting at $3,941, which is a 90.23% return. Power of investments, even if you start small, is absolutely off the chain. Now, the one thing to keep in mind, this investment does have more risk, and it is not as predictable as the S&P 500 with that nice chart that I just shared earlier. So keep that in mind, that crypto is much more scary. So this is just my fun little portfolio. But the bonus of today's video is you can actually see how your $5 could turn into $1,600,000. In a recent video I did on the power of small investments, I shared how someone who starts investing $5 a day on their 18th birthday all the way to the age of 65 can amass a wealth of $1,662,000. This assumes a standard return of 10% per year from the age of 18 to 65. But I bet most of you are not 18 years old watching this video. So does this mean 1.6 million is out of reach in the case of the $5 a day challenge? Not necessarily. Let's jump to a calculator that I created to try it out. What we're going to focus on first is what I shared in that video of investing small amounts. And that's that $1,600,000 portfolio. Messing around with the green boxes, if we have the current age of 18 when you get started, if you are 18 and you're watching this, just imagine what can happen here. But your estimated rate of return is 10%. That's just the S&P 500. I didn't make it up. I'm just looking at the average. Now, look at this. You have 47 years left to invest until you get to the age of 65. Your daily investment needed is actually only $4.79, and that means you would end with that $1,600,000 portfolio. That's exactly $1.6 million. It's only $4.79. If you did $5, it'd be a little bit more. It's that $1,662,000, I believe it is. Just $1.6 million, $4.79. But let's look at this. There's two different options here on this calculator. The first one is your current age. You can plug in what your age is right now. Whether you're 40, 50, I don't care what age you are. Plug it in right here, right? So I'm going to give an example right here in the video. Let's say you're age 40. Your estimated rate of return will stick with 10%. Now, if you do something a little bit more aggressive, if you're thinking I'm going to go into QQQM, that's going to continue to outperform. I'm going to say it's like 15%, whatever. But we're going to do 10% in today's example, right? 40 years old, 10% with a desired ending portfolio of 1.6 million. This is what's magical. You can see how much you need to invest. Now remember, the older you are, the more your $5 is going to have to grow per day in order to get to your desired outcome. We're not all young 18-year-olds. Don't you wish they taught us this in high school so we could have been young 18-year-olds doing this? But I digress. Point is, to get to 1.6 million, we're filling in all the green boxes here. Here's what we would have to do. That's $42.49 per day, which is a monthly investment of $1,292. Now, if you're cringing at that number, I get it. And I wish I could make that number lower, but it's just numbers. Don't shoot the messenger, right? This is just numbers. But if I could inspire you for one moment, the thing that used to drive me nuts about seeing something like this is because that is a lot of money. How do I afford $1,200, especially with all the bills I have to pay? But what I realized, if I can start getting rid of some of the stupid debt that I amassed over the years, what I'll do is I'll take that money that I'm putting down toward the debt every month once it's paid off and put that into the investments. That's how you can make this more powerful, because at the end of the day, what is it? 25 years from now, from the age of 40 to 65, we're still going to arrive at the age of 65 at some point. And the problem with it is, if we don't do anything today, we'll arrive at the age of 65. If we start taking action today, we may arrive at 1.6 million at the age of 65. See, it's all about choices. Let's take it one more step further here. Desired and age-based portfolio. This is where you can have some fun. Let's say you're like, I don't want to wait until the age of 65. I'm impatient and I want to go all in, and maybe you have a lot of money to invest and you can scale this up faster, whatever. Here's where you can have fun with it. Let's say your current age, let's say we're going to go younger now for my younger audience, not too young. We'll do 30. Okay, so 30 years old. You're going to stick at 10% and you still want that $1.6 million. Now, you can adjust it, right? We're going to just do 1.6 because that's what we've been talking about. But our desired retirement age. Now, if we stick with 65 in this case, you can see that your daily investment needs to be $15.42 or $468.95. Not too bad. But let's say you want to retire at the age of 50. If you put in 50, that will adjust. Now you're scaling up to $2,219 a month or $72 a day. So it all works in tandem with the math and the figures. Now, if you want this sheet, I'm going to give it to you for free. You'll get access and you can play around with all three of these different scenarios as you wish. Click the link below. You'll also get access to some great emails that I'm going to be putting out delivered directly from me. I don't spam you. I'm not going to give you extra emails. It's just great check-ins periodically and great motivation so you can turn your wealth from average to amazing. But what you're going to want to do now, after you smash the like button on this video, is you're going to want to watch this video next, and we'll see you on the next video.